So here we go for the walkthrough for Edexcel Foundation. It's from November 2021 and it's paper 2, so calculators at the ready. First page, keep it simple, don't do anything daft. Make sure you pick up all the marks. So question 1, percent, per means out of, cent means century, so put it over. This one does not cancel down. Number 2, meters into centimetres, so the units themselves are getting smaller, so you need a bigger number. And it's the cent again. It's times by 100 to get 300. Next one, decimal ordering. Always think of it as cash. So the smallest amount is 12 pence. And your next one is 21 pence. Next one's £1.2. And finally £1.20. Next, some basic algebra, simplifying. So, if you add 4 of the same thing together, you have 4 of them, no powers. Something divided by 4 means you've got 3 of them, in this case, 3p. On to page 2. Question 5. As you can see, I've cheated because you don't want to waste 30 seconds of your life watching me be rubbish with technology. All you got to do is say to yourself, right, to go from meters onto a centimetre grid, we divide everything by 5. And that's what goes on the grid, a 7 by 4 rectangle. On to number 6. From the list, write down a square number. Well, in this case, there is only one. 5 times 5 is 25. And the only number that's in the 8 times table is 24. Number 7, the first wordy one, but just keep it simple. So, a baker has 3 bags of flour. Bag A and B have the same. C has 940. So let's find out how much A and B have between them by subtracting. On your calcs, 1560. And to have the same amount means divide it by 2. So bags A and B have 780 grams each. Number 8, bar line graph. So work out how many times each student throws the dice. So if you read the top line, you'll notice it says 5 students throw a dice. So whatever the total is, you need to divide it by 5. So grab your calcs away. 6 plus 4 plus 5 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5 gives you a total of 35. So they each have 7 rolls of the dice. So on to number 9. Alec has done a question. Sometimes the best way to explain how someone's done something incorrectly is to do it correctly. And that's 3 times 4 should come first. So it's 2 plus 12 if you follow BIDMAS. The correct answer should be 14. Number 10. 17 is a fraction of 30. Just write it as 17 over 30. Doesn't cancel down. Reflecting the mirror line, as you can see, I've cheated as per usual. But it's all about counting, so make sure any vertex is the same distance away on a perpendicular. So do it as a posh dot to dot. That's 3 away, that's 3 away, 4 and 4, and so on. Number 12. If you bash your calculator, do take care. Use brackets if you've got a slightly older one. It says write all your figures. Mine spits out 1.844 977,205 and correct to 2 decimal places. There's a 4 after it, so it levels off to 1.84. I'll do the reason first. So as we can see, it's a straight line. Add up to or make 180. So your job on your calculator is 180, take away 75, take away 84, and we get a 21 for our answer. Number 14. How much money is Nazima paid for each hour she works? So best to grab your ruler. Now the one I went for was this line here, with a ruler obviously, because it works out to be a nice whole number. So for 2 hours, she gets £30. So 1 hour is £15. And the follow-up question, if she works 36 hours, it's grab your calculator time, because you should take your answer to part A and multiply it by 36. So I'm getting £540 earned. Number 15, you could convert them all into the same fraction, but the lowest common multiple is too big for me. You've got your calculator, so I would stick to top divided by bottom and convert them into decimals. You've got a couple of recurring ones, and 3/5 is a nice terminating one. So the smallest is the 0.4 recurring. Very small, it's the only one under a half. Next one is 3/5, because it's 0.6 nothing. Then it's 0.625, so that's 5/8, and it's 0.6 forever. So 2/3 is the largest. On to number 16. So it tells you there are 135 black cars in the car park. So you know that that's a quarter of the information. Okay, so 90 degrees is 135. I do it by going for 10 degrees, because as you can see, it's asking you for white, so I'd like a number that goes into 80. 10's a nice one, so I shall use that. So divide both sides by 9. So 10 degrees is worth 15. So 80 degrees is worth 8 times as much. So that's going to be 120 cars which are white. It says there are 50 grey somewhere in there. The car in the car park is picked at random. Find the probability. So we know that 50 is going to be the numerator. What we don't know is the denominator. So the denominator for this one needs to be the total of what the pie chart represents. So we go back to part A, where we knew that a quarter of the information is 135. So take the 135 times it by 4, we get 540. It does not ask us to cancel it down, so don't waste your time. Number 17, frequency trees wordy but a gold mine. No silly mistakes, and it should be plenty of marks in the bag. So 60 people, yada yada yada, that's already done. 38 of the people are women. In it goes, do a takeaway, 22 men. 15 of the men prefer to email. In it goes, so 22 minus 15, in goes a 7. 60% of, stop right there, don't overcomplicate things. It says 60% of the people prefer to text their friends. So 60% means out of 100, times by 60 people in the survey, 36 people prefer to text their friends. So these two should total 36. So in goes your 29. That now leaves you with 9 in there for the 38 women in the survey. On to number 18. So it's an incomplete table. Okay, the total length of the planks. Well, let's work out the length of the ones we know. So 3 planks of 5, 3 meters, sorry, 5 of them. We have 15, 2.5 times 8. Total length of 20. Multiply these, we get 21. And the bottom, we get an easy 10. So the total of the ones we know is 66. Leaves us with 26 meters that should be in there. So it's a work backwards question. These were at times 26 divided by 2 means a 13 should be going in the blank. On to number 19. No one likes a wordy, but you've got to take it one stage at a time. Rachel, Samir and Tom share £600. So you could start off going RST. That's fine. But let's just go for Rachel first of all. She gets 2/5 of means times. That's 240. So that means Samina and Tom, 600 minus 240, there is £360 left. Samina gets a quarter of. So she gets 360 divided by 4. She's getting £90. So as we can see, 240 for Rachel, 90 for Samina. So Tom would get the £600 minus these amounts. Or in other words, 270. Now he suggests I would have got more money if it was shared equally. If it was shared equally, we would just divide it by 3. Well, that, I'm afraid, looks like less money to me. So no. Tom's wrong. So if you want to add on about the £70 difference, feel free. Number 20, laws of indices question. So first one, when you divide, it's a subtract the powers. 5 take away 2. Should be you're working out. Don't need to write it down though. And you've got a power to a power. So these powers should be multiplied. D to the power of 12. Number 21. Inequalities. So it's on the -1. It's above -1. It's an open circle, so no need for an equals. That one is done. On B, put a circle on -3, a circle on 4, join them up. Doesn't matter about arrows. But notice there is an equal sign for the -3. So we need to fill it in because that requires a closed circle. Number 22. So highest common factor. You could sit there and list them. Feel free. You've got a calculator. Feel free to go for your 1 times 60 and so on. But I will do the factor tree method. It's always good to practice it for revision. And don't be afraid to speed the process up by doing 3-way splits. Same for 84, but I'll recycle. Oh, we've got a 12 again. I mean, some people out there might already knew the answer is 12 because these are quite common, but the highest common factor, 3 in both, 2 in both, another pairs of 2's, multiply the common, and we get 12. For B, again, you could do factor trees, but these are very common numbers, so I'd prefer to go what's normally a much longer way, particularly with awkward numbers, but these numbers are quite nice. You've got a calculator, and as you can see, it doesn't take long to generate your times tables to find the lowest multiple in common. Number 23. Work out Sam's speed in the first 15 minutes. So as we know, to go from 15 minutes to an hour, that's times by 4. So if he's travelled 20 kilometres in a quarter of an hour, he's travelling at 80 kilometres per hour. So next, me fighting technology. Let's see how we go. At 10:15, Sam stops for 10 minutes. Each block is 5. So there we go. He then drives for 20 minutes at a speed of 75 kilometres an hour. Now, 20 minutes is a third of an hour. So he will travel a third of that distance. In other words, he will travel 25 kilometres. So, in those 20 minutes, which takes him up to that many blocks away, he will go up to here, because that vertically is the 25. So on we go. Job is a good one. Impress myself there. Next, this is where I will certainly not impress myself. So first job is to fill in the table. So always look for symmetry. Always start with positive numbers. So I'll do the 2 first. So 2 squared is 4. Take away 2 2's plus 2. So for 2, I'm getting 2. And there's some symmetry. So this 5 will bounce down here. Next, I'll do the 4 squared. But hold on, why bother? The 10's already been filled in because the shape of the graph and the table should be symmetrical. Finally, 1 squared minus 2 plus 2 gives us 1. Now let's make a total bodge of this. Like I've said on previous videos, if yours is not better than mine, you really need to do it again. So -2, 10 up. -1, 5 up. 0 2, 1 1, 2 2, and we've got 3 5 because the symmetry comes into play, and 4 10, and here's total bodge job. Please make yours better than mine. Jeez, I'm going to leave it to show you that it's not easy. So let's crack on. Use your graphs. So here equals 4. That means you need a horizontal line on 4. And yes, mine's going to be as bad as you think. So it says it wants solutions. Solutions is where they cross. And so this one is rubbish. And my next one, definitely rubbish. But you've got to follow it through from your graph. So the answers I'm getting just below minus 0.5. So I'm going to say minus 0.6 or so. And my graph, as you can see, is coming out at about 2.5, 2.7. Mark scheme allows minus 0.65 to minus 0.8. So I would have lost a mark. Probably would have got that mark, but lost it here because obviously my diagram is terrible. So yeah, wouldn't get full marks for mine. Yours needs to be better. Other solution, by the way, they allow 2.65 up to 2.8. On we go. So this one, it's a hidden Pythagoras. So grab your calculator, square those numbers, add them together, and square root them. It's approximately 12.8. It says three significant figures, so feel free to work in more, but I'll stick to that. So that makes that distance there 12.8. But the bit to be careful of, it doesn't include that bit there. Now the whole line is 12.8, but this bit covers it up. So it's take away 10, so that little bit is 2.8 on its own. So the total of the perimeter, 8 plus 8 plus 12.8 plus 10 plus 2.8 for 41.6 millimeters. And after some Pythagoras, why not some SOHCAHTOA? So work out the length of BC. So labels, hypotenuse, which is useless, opposite and adjacent. If it's opposite and adjacent because it wants BC, this is a TOA question. And to work out the opposite, these are written next to each other, so it's a multiply. So tan of 56 multiplied by 12. Take care if your calc pops brackets in. Make sure it gives you 17.8. And what better than a bit more? So here we go. Labels at the ready. Opposite is useless. So this is an adjacent and hypotenuse question. That's the CAH of SOHCAHTOA. So you want the angle. It's a divide. It's always a divide when you want the angle. So it's inverse or shift cos of the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. It wants 1 dp, so 33.6. And finally, final page, 27, factorising a quadratic, followed by solving. So list your pairs of numbers which multiply to make negative 18, add together to make negative 7. You'll eventually get minus 9 and positive 2 for a couple of marks. But then you need to solve it. The answers for x, change the signs, 9 and negative 2. And finally, number 28, it's reverse percentages because you don't know the original amount. You do know the multiplier because it's been reduced by 15%. So reverse percentages is all about reversing the flow, divide by your multiplier. If it spits out a nice friendly looking answer, you know you've done it right. And that concludes the walkthrough for the November paper. Hope it's helped. See you on the next one.